or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
It's ESPN 106.3, your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Dolphins, Miami Hurricanes, and all of the biggest football matchups throughout the week. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sportsbook. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned by gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Well, if you're one of those people who lives life with no regrets, you must have never paid Daniel Jones franchise quarterback money.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man, your man could smell it.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. We have a great surprise for you today. A treat, if you will. A treat. Not only are we later on giving out a $50 gift card to the House West Palm, which is the most eloquent restaurant sitting right off the park. The House Trivia, that's going to be in a couple, probably like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We'll have the House West Palm. Take it to the House Trivia where you can win a $50 gift card to the house. We also have Jonathan Zaslow in studio today. He made the visit here to ESPN West Palm. So Zaslow's going to pull up on us. He's going to be headed to, Nashville this weekend?
Yeah, he's got a big game. Exciting game that you wouldn't have thought that people would care about. Vanderbilt, Texas, right? Until we are finally here.
And that's the thing about this game here is, Texas coming off with a huge loss to Georgia, where you had fans who created a new, I would guess, advantage in the in college football. If you don't like a call, throw bottles onto the field. And then you have the University of Georgia Bulldogs, not the Bulldogs. Then you have at home Vanderbilt, who they have everybody in Tuscaloosa now questioning if they made the right hire in Kalen DeBoer. 2 losses before Halloween. That's not the kind of stuff that people out there with Bama expect.
What every caller in DePaul Feinbaum's show is saying, well, Saban never lost to Vandy.
Come on, man.
Well, Saban never lost to Vandy.
It's a different Vandy. It's a different Vandy.
It sure is. I love that transfer quarterback they got, I believe, from New Mexico State, Diego Pavia. Yeah. Is that correct?
He
plays with some spunk, I'd say.
A throwback. He's a throwback college football quarterback. Not none of these guys that just like to sit in the pocket, be protected, throw it around. He's the anti-Carson Beck, if you will. No shade to him. Love what Vandy has going. Would love to see what that game is going to be like. Unfortunately, C-Cat, I'm not going to be there in person for it. You won't be there in person for it. But someone who will. is our friend Jonathan Zaslow. I said he was pulling up later, but you pulled up right now. I appreciate you.
I'm ready. I got sports takes. I got things I want to say.
Nice.
I'm not waiting around anymore. Hello. Good to be in studio. I like this. A nice studio you guys have here.
Thank you.
Don't hold back. I want all of your best takes. Nothing saving for Amber and Ian. Nothing saving for Saturday. I want the best stuff right now.
I am giving all of my takes right here with you guys. Yes. It is good to be here.
I'm glad we got you on here early because we were literally on the topic of college football. And, of course, later on, we're going to be talking about Daniel Jones, and we can even touch on some of that with you here. Which NFL team is going to be the next to regret paying their quarterback after the Giants owner, John Mary, comes out and says, hey, I'm sticking with Joe Schoen. I'm sticking with Brian Daboll through the end of the season. And you only have to say that when you know this season's over with, the Giants sitting at 2-5.
Yeah, how about that? After Robert Saleh got fired, you then have the conversation. All right, who's the next coach that's going to be fired in season? And my first thought was Doug Peterson if he loses both games in London.
Oh, that would have been sweet.
Now, he lost the first one. He won the second. So he gets a stay of execution. Then, for me, it became Brian Daboll's the guy. He's going to get fired in season. But then you had John Mara come out and, he said, they're going to give it time.
Yeah.
Shane, Daboll, they're staying. They're not going anywhere. So I'm clearly wrong about that. But yes, you're right. They're moving on from Daniel Jones. And look, how could you not be, not even just that Daniel Jones clearly is not the guy, but this is a good year to be bad. This is going to be a very quarterback-heavy draft. So you got to take advantage if you're the Giants.
So here's the thing, though. I'm curious on what you just said because I saw other people saying this as well, that it was either Peterson or Daboll that would be next to be fired. What were y'all's expectation coming into this season for the Giants anyway then? Because they still had Daniel Jones at quarterback. Their best option was this rookie out of LSU who we didn't know what we would get from yet. And then also, Zaz, they're 2-5. That feels right on par with where they should be.
Well, what I would have said was, for one, they essentially chose Daniel Jones over Barkley.
Yeah.
And if you chose Daniel Jones over Barkley, it means that you believe that the coach can fix him. And clearly the coach has not been able to fix him. So that would have been my reasoning for they get rid of Daboll in the middle of the season. Peterson, on the other hand, I don't think the Jaguars are going to be very good. But you have to consider, Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, before the season started, he said, this is the most talented team I've ever had here in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And if you say that, and then you come out 0-4, and which they did, and you look like the worst team in the league, that's very embarrassing for a billionaire owner. So I felt like he was going to have to come and, he was going to wind up having to get rid of somebody as a result to make up for it. So if an owner gets embarrassed, I could see him firing the coach. They obviously, they won the game in week 5. They won this past week, so now they got 2 wins, whatever. But it looks like I'm going to be wrong about Daboll. He is not going to be the next one fired because it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere.
Well, your initial reasoning was right. Look at the Jaguars' schedule coming up. Don't worry, your Doug Peterson take, it will age like wine. They have the Packers at home this weekend. Then they are at the Eagles, home to the Vikings, and at the Lions.
Peterson's
not surviving.
You just gave me 4 losses.
Yeah, Peterson's not surviving that.
So what are we talking? 2-9 at that point? Then I guess.
Yeah. Peterson's not surviving that.
He may not. May not.
But let's go back to the Giants of it all, because when you look at what they're deciding here, we're sticking with the 2 guys that the owner does feel are competent, are good in their job. And I don't think anybody thinks Brian Daboll's a bad coach. And also, as a GM for Joe Schoen, you made the decision to stick with Daniel Jones. But I think part of that was the hubris and the hubris that came along with the Giants being victims of their own success. You look back at that 2022 season that Daniel Jones ended up getting paid 4 years, $160 million off of. That was a 9-win Giants team that went to the playoffs, and they got a win against the Vikings team that also overachieved that year when you look at their record versus point differential. It does feel like one of those situations where when you look at Daniel Jones' stat line, when you look at the success they had that year and how it didn't really feel repeatable, when they made the decision to extend Daniel Jones, the popular opinion around that, and I'm sure you had it as well, and I did, that's a bad idea. There were a lot of people outside of the Giants front office and outside of that, whatever they got going on out there in the Meadowlands that felt that was a poor decision, and they were reacting off of a season where they overachieved, and now we're seeing that. So I'm glad that at least those two guys didn't lose their jobs over it. I think that's what scared them all from extending Saquon Barkley, though, this past offseason, was that Daniel Jones contract being a victim of your own success, and now you're hamstrung to a bad quarterback, which you're going to have a bad season this year.
Well, I think they're lucky in the sense that they're going to get off that money this year, all right, after this season. And if you look back at this past draft, they had the number 6 overall pick, I think it was. People wanted them to select a quarterback. Don't select a quarterback just because you feel like you need a quarterback. If you can get the guy you want, fine. And remember, I think they tried to trade up.
Trying to get Drake May.
Right, they were interested in Drake May. Okay, the Patriots weren't interested in trading. Fine. Don't select a guy just because you have to select a guy. So take Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors, who is clearly a really good player. And this is going to wind up working out well for the Giants because they get Neighbors instead of a quarterback that maybe they didn't love. And now they're going to have a very high pick next year.
Yep.
And you got probably, I think it's going to be 5 first-round quarterbacks next year.
Yeah, you're soaked in on college football. Who are you most high on? Cam Ward guy here. I'm a Miami fan.
Cam Ward.
So Cam Ward's up there. If they can't get their hands on Cam Ward, who's next? Because I feel like Quinn Ewers took a step back. I don't like Carson Beck as a first-round quarterback. And it starts to get a little slim after that, like Shedeur Sanders.
Look, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Shedeur Sanders, Jalen Milroe, Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Those are the 5 guys I think we're talking about here. Can the kid from Oregon come out yet? Gilmore?
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel. He better. He better come out. Yeah.
Okay, so you got 5 or 6 maybe that could be in the first round. For me, it's Cam Ward. I'm watching every Saturday a professional quarterback playing with the Hurricanes. He is so cool. He is so calm back there. There's not a single throw he can't make. Smart decisions. I think Cam Ward's the number 1 guy off the board. Shedeur Sanders, could he be the guy that's number 1? I guess it depends on the team, but you got a lot of good options there. If you're a team like the Giants, I think Cam Ward is the most NFL ready of those guys.
So the Giants are going to be in line, likely to pick one of those guys in the NFL draft, but they are in this position because they were victims of their own success. They regret paying their quarterback, and that was Daniel Jones following that 2022 season. The question today, Zaz, is which franchise is going to be next to regret paying their quarterback? Either a team that paid them this offseason or are likely to pay a quarterback very soon. Which NFL franchise is going to be next to be in the Giants' position and feel like, damn, why the hell did we fool ourselves into paying that man? And to me, I'll tell you right now, before I tell you about Baptist Health, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers with Brock Purdy.
I was going to say, that's going to be a popular answer.
Yeah. So hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline. Let us know yours, or you can jump in the YouTube chat at Theo Speaking, the YouTube chat presented by Prize Picks. Hit us on the Baptist Health Hotline, though, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Who's next to regret paying their quarterback like the Giants are sitting in a pool of regret right now? Are you experiencing foot and ankle pain and need to see an expert in the field? Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has a team of foot and ankle orthopedic surgeons and specialists who are regarded as leaders in their specialty. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho to learn more today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County, right on through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. We got Jonathan Zaslow in the house. He's going to be in Nashville this weekend for Texas versus Vanderbilt. And I appreciate you pulling up in studio. It's great to have you in the ambiance here in the downtown City Place studios.
And you see the women, they just walked by, they're gawking at you. They're like, what's going on in here? There's a live radio show.
It's love right here. I love that we face right here Rosemary Ave, and we're able to see the fans and interact with them. We're thinking about putting up like a poll right here, so when they see the poll, they can kind of actually give some reaction, because it's weird when they just walk by and look at you like you're a zoo animal.
Yeah, you should put up a sign saying, yes, this is a live radio show.
With a little QR code where you can tap in. So for you, Zaz, you're in line with me. The 49ers feel like that next team that can be.
It's going to be a popular answer. I'm good with paying Purdy. I believe I have seen enough out of him to say this is a guy you could win with. And that's what it boils down to. It doesn't boil down to, hey, is he a superstar and that's why we're going to pay him? No, it's, can you win with this guy? Well, this is the going rate for a quarterback that you're going to sign to that second contract. I believe you can win with Purdy. I think I've seen enough. But if I'm going with a guy who currently has the contract, for me, it's Trevor Lawrence.
I knew you were going to go there.
Well, because it's the right answer. For me, I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Everything that we see out of Jaden Daniels right now is what we were supposed to see out of Trevor Lawrence. And we weren't supposed to see this out of Jaden Daniels right now. But the play that we're seeing right out the gates from Jaden Daniels is what Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be. I think what we're going to see now the rest of the season from Caleb Williams is what we were supposed to see from Trevor Lawrence. We're in year number 4 of Trevor Lawrence now. You can't keep blaming Urban Meyer for holding him back in his rookie year. It was forever ago. Trevor Lawrence is, look, if you put a lot of great players around him, probably be fine. But for me, he is as average as it gets. I don't see anything special there at the pro level.
But they named the stadium after him.
Oh, come on. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
What do you do with Trevor Banks Stadium if you get rid of the court? Like, that is a bad situation for Jacksonville. I don't know how you fix it.
Yeah, you got a lot of years left and a lot of money and a quarterback who I don't think is very good. Yeah, I'd say it's a bad situation.
So for me with the 49ers, here's where I draw the issue. I'm not one of those anti-Brock Purdy guys. I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I just look at the facts that we've been presented over the past 2 years. If you look at the 2-year spectrum, the past 24 months, by far the best roster in football outside of the quarterback position has been the San Francisco 49ers.
Right.
Also, you have Kyle Shanahan as a head coach here. He's been there since 2017. Again, coming off of last weekend, they're now 0-5 against the Kansas City Chiefs.
2 of them in the Super Bowl.
Part of that, again, and kudos for making the Super Bowl. Part of that is the discrepancy between who Kyle Shanahan has had at quarterback and who the Chiefs have had at quarterback. And I think the bar for him now is no longer just making the title game. I think he kind of wants to win one. And I don't see Brock Purdy being that guy that can get them over the hump, those ads, mainly because of this. Patrick Mahomes, APY, making $45 million a year right now. That's why the Chiefs are able to continue to retool that roster and keep talent around him. With all of the injuries that piled up on the Niners right now, and Purdy has a chance to prove himself, show us how well can you do when the circumstances aren't perfect, we're going to get a glimpse of what it's going to look like when you have to pay Brock Purdy north of $50 million a year.
That's very fair.
So he has his chance to prove he deserves that kind of a contract. I don't see it happening. I don't see the Niners making the playoffs this year. And also, if the Niners fool themselves into extending Brock Purdy, did you see the Bill Barnwell number over the offseason?
No.
He was saying like $65 million a year.
Is that more than what Dak is getting?
That's more than anybody. That would be more than Dak, too. I don't think it's going to get that crazy. But even anywhere close to $60 million a year for Brock Purdy, the opportunity cost there where you have to pull back on what you can surround him with will be too costly for me to believe the Niners are going to. So what are you going to do now? Go back to the Super Bowl with a less talented roster and the same quarterback, and we expect a different result?
No, that's very fair. Now, look, this season's a lost season. They're not making the playoffs. This season's over with. But I am willing to entertain the argument that their window is closing because, like you mentioned there, once you pay Purdy, making him the highest paid doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
like he should be in that $50+ million range that guys like Tua are in. I don't know why he has to be. It's something I'll never understand about the way the NFL works is just because you're a free agent, why, and you're a really good player, why does that mean you have to be the highest paid?
Yeah.
I'll never understand that. He should be somewhere in that $50+ million range. But the window is likely closed. Now, it doesn't mean I can't open back up in a couple years. But it's likely closing for now because obviously there's less talent that you're going to be able to put around Purdy.
Yeah.
Once you pay him that, that's why you re-sign Ayuk right now.
Come on.
That's why you bring in McCaffrey. That's why you try and take advantage. You look at the Dolphins. They brought in Hill. They brought in Bradley Chubb. You bring in these guys. You make these bold moves because you want to strike while the quarterback is giving you the huge value against the contract that he's currently playing under. If you draft a quarterback and you see he is really good, you have those 4 years right there. Not quite the same with Purdy because he was the last pick in the draft.
Yeah.
But you have those 4 years right there. That's your window. That right there is your window for winning. And the 49ers have tried to take advantage of it. The injury situation has put a wrench in that plan. So now when Purdy is being paid like he's going to be paid next year, it's likely they're going to take a step back for a couple years. Doesn't mean it's permanent, but it's likely they're going to take a step back.
Purdy's in that core of quarterbacks right now talent-wise, ability-wise, ceiling-wise, that I think it mirrors Tua with the Dolphins because you see what they did. They didn't just extend him. They extended Waddle. They extended Hill. They know they have to keep talent around him to be beneficial. But also, I'm going to throw out two other names because everybody agrees Purdy and Tua are in that same core, that same conversations as. How about this? Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield. Are we looking at, and again, don't take it for the face value of the full entirety of their career, what those guys are right now, how they're able to succeed in advantageous situations and good offenses right now. Are Purdy and Tua closer to Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and therefore the Buccaneers and the Vikings are getting way more bang for their buck because they don't have them on these mega $50 million a year deals?
Boy, I'll tell you, I heard some type of number thrown around about what Darnold can get after this year.
Yeah.
Woo.
He can demand above $45 million a year.
And I don't really know what you do if you're Minnesota, because obviously, like, how close was Minnesota, who is 5-1 now? How close was Minnesota to none of this ever happening? JJ, we were never going to see, if Minnesota had their way, we were never going to see Sam Darnold take a single snap this year.
Wow, yeah.
If they had their choice, do you want Sam Darnold to take a snap of the football one time this year? Their answer would have been no. And then McCarthy gets hurt, Sam Darnold gets thrown out there.
Wow.
Now they have a situation where, all right, like, we still like McCarthy. Like, that's why we drafted him. We were going to start him day number 1. But if I'm the Vikings, I can't just throw Darnold I can't just throw him in the trash. I mean, based on what we're seeing right now.
If I'm the Vikings, again, they know better than I because they are, they have him in that room. Kevin O'Connell knows what he can win
every
with.
Day.
So I'm curious what they do with the Sam Darnold decision this offseason.
I don't know.
And it's going to be heavily based on if he's able to not just get them to the playoffs, but win a game. But this brings me back to the point. Are you going to be a victim of your own success? That 2022 playoff game between the Giants and Vikings, that was like a tentpole game right there. That was like one of those pendulum swinging games. If the Giants lose that playoff game, there's a world in which we live that they make Daniel Jones play on that franchise tag, and they do believe we need more in order to be a good team going forward. And the Vikings maybe further commit themselves to Kirk Cousins. Now we're looking at two franchises that win two totally different, operations, two totally different ways, and that's why it brings me back to that point. Who's going to be the next NFL team to regret paying their quarterback? And then also, Jonathan Zaslow, radio professional, didn't even put his phone on vibrate for theoretically speaking.
You know what? Can I
What's
tell you
up,
something?
Dog?
My
What
phone
up with that, C-Cat?
Can I tell you something? My phone is on vibrate.
Yeah.
You know what? That was an alarm. You know what the alarm was for?
Yeah.
Joining you.
Oh, I forgot because we came
That's
on
right.
earlier. Yeah,
So even if you're on vibrate, you can't have your alarm not go off. The alarm supersedes vibrate.
Yeah.
And the alarm was for you.
You know what? I appreciate you being that dedicated to Theoretically Speaking, where you had an alarm for us. Jonathan Zaslow from Zaslow Show 2.0 joining myself and C-Cat here on Theoretically Speaking. And you're also going to be joining a ruckus environment in Nashville this weekend on a.
You ever been there?
I've been to Nashville, haven't been to Vanderbilt Stadium.
I've never been to either.
Yeah. Do they play at the Titan Stadium or do they have a home stadium?
No, they're on campus.
Okay, so they do. Okay, that's how naive I am about it. But what I will say is that's probably going to be one of the better environments they've had in a long time.
I hope they've replaced the field goal posts. Remember they threw it into the river there. I am very excited. Can I just tell you, I'll never understand that, okay? Your team, your school just won. You beat Alabama. And so you're going to party. You're super excited. And your reaction is, let's destroy our stadium. You won. If you want to destroy a stadium, get in the car, drive to Tuscaloosa, destroy their stadium.
Yeah.
You beat them.
Yeah.
Why are you destroying your stadium?
I don't think they look at it as we're destroying our stadium because they have no stake in the health of their own stadium. They're drunk college kids that want to have a good time.
I'll never understand.
Yeah. Well, that's because you're on the other side of college kid age now.
Yeah.
Of course, we're now criticizing the youths for doing youthful stuff.
The energy these kids have at all these campus tour stops I go to.
Yeah.
I'm flying out to Nashville tomorrow. We'll be at Vanderbilt, Texas. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time, college football tailgate. Myself, Rashad Jennings. I'm going to be on Broadway Street tomorrow night. I'm going bar hopping. I'm going to get loose. I'm looking forward to Nashville. But the energy that these college kids have, they get started in the morning. They keep it going all throughout the day. Who has the energy for that? I don't get it.
Absolutely not. C-Cat and I, when we went golfing this morning, we were trying to debate before we looked at the line between Texas and Vandy. And we know Texas.
What is it now?
Obviously about 18 and a half.
Yeah.
18.5. And I guessed I'm foolish.
Angry Texas team, come on.
I'm foolish. I guessed 8.5. C-Cat guessed, what was it, 13, you said?
It's 14.
14. He said 14.5. 18.5. Are these two teams that different in talent?
Yeah. Texas, like the very top of college football,
right,
is Georgia, Texas. I think that's it. Like
Miami's in the realm.
I don't think they're on the level of those.
Like,
let me ask you something.
Outside looking in, but they're right there.
Let me ask you something. You're watching Georgia and Texas last week, and you're watching what Georgia's doing there to Texas, and you're saying to yourself, I think Miami can beat this? No.
Okay. Oregon. Oregon's right there.
We'll see. I mean, great win against Ohio State, of course.
Yeah.
Oregon, look, they're the number one team in the country. So if you want to put them there, fine. But no, Vanderbilt's ranked now, number 25. They've had a fun season. The quarterback, Diego Pavia, he's a lot of fun as well. I hope the game's not ugly. I'm hoping it's a tight game there. I can go walk into the stands in the fourth quarter and enjoy the whole atmosphere there in Nashville. But yes, I would say the talent disparity between these two teams, especially an angry Texas team.
Yeah,
I think it could be on display.
They are not backs against the wall, but they're going to be coming there very vicious, looking to prove a point against.
Can't lose SEC 2 weeks in a row.
Oh.
You cannot lose another SEC game right after.
What's been your favorite stop so far on the campus
Tuscaloosa.
tour? Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia. Not even just the game. I really enjoyed Tuscaloosa, and the bars. The weather was fantastic. The whole scene at the stadium, the tailgate situation, they got Fraternity Row literally on the street right in front of the stadium. So all the tailgating and getting ready for the game, I was very impressed with Tuscaloosa. I like that place.
And also another one, because C-Cat here is a Penn State Nittany Lion alum.
Okay.
I would be remiss, since I threw Miami out there in the conversation for on the outside looking in, I'd be remiss if I don't even offer up his alma mater. They're number 3.
Mm-hmm.
They have a shot now with the playoffs being 12 teams. They'll probably be in the playoff.
Yeah.
Where do you view them in the?
I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh man,
you're right.
I'll believe it when I see it. I mean, how can I just give James Franklin the benefit of the doubt?
No,
I have to see it first. Come on.
You see that little 3 next to Penn State's title because they just float to the top because they haven't lost yet. They haven't played anybody yet. That's the Penn State story. You'll find out who they are.
It was like last week when Texas loses, and so you're figuring, okay, I guess Penn State will move up. I was like, no, they didn't move up at all. No, they move up at all. Georgia just jumped them right back in. I thought Georgia should have been number 1 after the win last week.
Yeah.
If you want to say Oregon, okay, hey, listen, you haven't lost yet. You were number 2, number 1 loss. Your turn. Fine. I guess you can't argue with that. I think Georgia's the best team in the country again. And look, we know what happened against Alabama. That game, Georgia played their worst game of the season, the same game they played their best game of the season. So I choose to focus on what Georgia did in that second half to Alabama. I think Georgia's best team in the country.
So when you were at that game, when you look at that, what the hell happened that first half?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think you can't say that Georgia wasn't prepared because you go into this past week and Texas hadn't really played anyone yet this year. I think we know now that Oklahoma stinks. Texas hasn't played anyone yet this year. Georgia has. Obviously, under Kirby Smart, all these last 7-8 years, they've been in big spots. And we saw right away, like, they're not afraid. You can't be scared, and they weren't scared. You go right in there, and they were beating Texas down bad early in the game. So it's not as if that game against Alabama, it's like the lights were too bright. They weren't prepared. So I don't know. I'm not sure what happened to them there.
It's one of those things, again, it's college football. Anything can happen on a Saturday. I'm excited to see what happens. I hope Vanderbilt is able to put up enough of a fight to make that thing interesting for you all. But there's a lot of different games this Saturday that have me a bit on edge, including I do want to talk some Miami FSU. Do you have time to stick around for?
Yeah.
Okay, you do. Through the break?
Yeah.
Miami and FSU, it is the greatest win disparity in the 69-game history of this rivalry. 7-0 Miami going to be hosting 1-6
That's so bad.
Florida State.
That's terrible.
We got to discuss that on the other side here because I am you teased our GM Steph Prince about it, like how soon did you know the Seminoles were bad?
Right. At what point did you realize, wow, the school I went to is the worst team in the country?
I think it was about 2 snaps into that game in Ireland. It was it started to get rough.
She said right away. I gave it to at least after the loss to BC.
That was me too. I was like, you know what? It's a funky trip overseas. They're coming off of how last year ended. Let's see what they got.
And maybe Georgia Tech's good. Like, they were ranked and then they lost at Syracuse.
Yeah. That was, Florida State has been a interesting story this year. There need to be a 30 for 30 on that. They're chasing a championship. They would love to be ACC crowned again, which is definitely not going to happen at this point for Florida State. But championships is something that's synonymous with Kaiser University, the flagship campus of Kaiser University, home to so many different title teams, the reigning NAIA champions of the gridiron. How about the back-to-back national champions in men's lacrosse? And they've had 3 straight when it comes to NAIA women's swimming and diving titles. 22 national titles in the history of Kaiser Athletics. And if you want to check in on all of them, KUSeahawks.com. KUSeahawks.com. That's where you can tap in to get the latest on their athletic programs. And also, maybe you just sift through their championship page and just see how robust winning can be at the flagship campus of Kaiser University. Love those Seahawks. Looking forward to seeing if the football team can repeat this year. We'll have to see. I need to see who they play this weekend. We'll see how Miles Russ has those guys going. Again, KUSeahawks.com to check out their schedule and the latest on Kaiser Athletics. What the hell are we going to expect from Hard Rock Stadium this weekend? Miami and FSU, a historic matchup between the two for all the wrong reasons if you rock with the Noles. We discussed that and more. We got Jonathan Zaslow in the house, the Cooper City Rattlesnake.
That's right.
We got C-Cat on the ones and twos. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen. This week on ESPN 106.3, we've got it all. Baseball, basketball, and football. Tonight, we head out west for Thursday Night Football. The Vikings and Rams. Pregame starts at 7:30. No need to scan the dial. ESPN 106.3 has everything you need to hear.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day, and the polls are open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Find where you vote at votepalmbeach.gov. Remember to bring your photo and signature ID. If you still have a mail ballot, you can either vote in person at your polling location, drop it off at one of our drop-off locations during designated hours, or bring it to our main office by 7 p.m. on Election Day. It's an honor to serve and ensure your vote counts. See you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's has voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Mansour's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Mansour's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
Lease the new 2024 Range Rover Evoque 250S today at Land Rover Palm Beach for only $499 per month with a 42-month lease and only $47.50 down, plus fees and first month's payment. Head over to Land Rover Palm Beach today, located on Okeechobee Boulevard just past the Turnpike, or visit LandRoverPalmBeach.com to set up a test drive of the new 2024 Range Rover Evoque 250S. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond.
Mornings. Nope, not my thing. But when I imagine a McDonald's breakfast in my hand, suddenly the snooze button is out of the picture. Now for a limited time, the 2 for $5 mix and match breakfast deal includes the sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, egg McMuffin, or the sausage McMuffin with egg. It's like a fist bump for breakfast that says, you've got this. It's time to gear up and seize the day. The breakfast hype is real. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Attention chicken lovers. We asked for it and McDonald's came through. Introducing the Chicken Big Mac. Treat yourself to the mouth-watering perfection of a Chicken Big Mac. 2 tender, juicy chicken patties sandwiched between a sesame seed bun. Plus classic Big Mac sauce, tangy pickles, crisp lettuce, and a melty slice of American cheese. Hey chicken lovers, we did it. Order ahead in the McDonald's app and save 20% on orders over $10. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 12/31/24. Participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards.
Join Yingling and ESPN West Palm this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at E.R. Bradley Saloon in downtown West Palm. Enjoy Yingling flight bottle specials and $5 pints. The ESPN West Palm Street team is on hand with tailgating games, prizes, and Yingling swag. Watch Miami take on Arizona and the entire 1 o'clock Sunday slate. It's Yingling and ESPN West Palm Sunday at E.R. Bradley Saloon on Clematis Street in West Palm. Must be 21 plus. Presented by Yingling, America's oldest brewery. Please drink responsibly.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Yeah, man. We back at it on a Thursday here. Soon we're going to have our Take It to the House trivia where you can earn a $50 gift card to the House West Palm. Make sure you're locked in on that. And I ain't got to tell you twice, if you live here in the Sunshine State, to lock in on the big football game this week. And no, I'm not talking about the Cardinals and the Dolphins. Join us for the Coors Light College Football Game of the Week as we feature Florida State taking on the University of Miami. The ESPN West Palm Street team will be at Mulligan's Beach House in Jensen Beach. Again, that's Mulligan's Beach House in Jensen Beach this Saturday, October 26th. We're going to be there from 7 to 9 p.m. You can enjoy $2.50 drafts and $15 buckets of ice-cold Coors Light. Show us your tailgate toss skills for a chance to win prizes courtesy of Palm Beach Autographs. You must be 21 or older to participate. Molson Coors reminds you to please drink responsibly. That's going to be a good one, obviously centered around the game that's going to be taking place at Hard Rock Stadium, one where very recently, in very recent history, the Miami Hurricanes were not just beaten, but embarrassed by Jordan Travis and the Seminoles. I was at that game. That was, 2 years ago when it was like 50-10 or something. Like, it was crazy. I think the Canes want to do that same thing to them here at home this weekend.
You know, it's interesting that you bring that up because I saw this on social media the other day where I guess it was after that game. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Where Cristobal was asked something to the line along the lines of, if he was offended, if he thought that FSU was running up the score.
45-3, by the way, but yeah.
If he was offended with them scoring. And he said something along the lines of, their job is to score, our job is to stop them. Okay, that's fine. And he capped it off with, one day soon, the shoe is going to be on the other foot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, it seems like, they've come home to roost. That's what the case. So I'm looking forward to what that means for this weekend because it feels like for a couple years now that this has been on the mind of Hurricane fans, maybe some Hurricane players, certainly Mario Cristobal. Look, FSU, they're the worst team in the country. Miami, they're undefeated. I think the Canes are going to try and run it up.
Ain't no fun when the Rabbits got the gun. And Cam Ward, he don't got just your typical gun. He got a shotgun. He got one of them big double-barrel shotguns that you see in Looney Tunes. And when Bugs Bunny turns that thing around on the nose on Saturday, I think it's going to be exciting, and it's a long time coming for Canes fans. So this is the biggest win disparity we've ever seen in this series.
Wow.
With the Canes and the Noles. 6 wins separate these two programs, obviously, with Miami being 7-0, the Noles being 1-6. The last 2 times, though, Zaz, this is what gives me pause, not just because it's a rivalry game. This is obviously the Super Bowl if you're at Florida State and you're playing right now. Like, you're going to give it all this game, if any game, just because you probably either hate Miami that much or you know how much it means to your school. You don't want to be embarrassed. So it's the Super Bowl for the Noles. And the last 2 times that we've had a huge win disparity, which the last 2 biggest times were 5 wins, in 74 and in 58, there were close games. So in 58, Florida State was 6-2. Miami was 1-4.
Everyone remembers that game.
Right, back in 50. I mean, come on. FSU won that one 17-6. And then in 74, There might be some people still hanging around that remember
Everyone
that one.
also remembers that one. It was a barn burner.
Don't even got to tell you what happened.
A great game. But remind some people.
But yeah, for those that want to be reminded, Miami was 5-2. Florida State was winless in 74, 0-8. Worse than this Florida State team.
I don't know. Have they seen footage of this Florida State team? I don't know.
We would have to line them both up. FSU won that game. Their first win of the season came against Miami, 21-14.
All right, so maybe a little revenge this weekend then for the Canes.
I was about to say, like, I just, as a Miami fan, and I come into this season telling people this, Cam Ward makes this program a totally different team. Don't look at this as the Canes of past. Don't think of them as the team that gets overhyped, starts feeling themselves, and then falls big in big moments. Cam is grounded. Like you said earlier, he's a professional quarterback.
He looks like it.
And I have so much confidence in these guys.
He's so calm. You know, the first game of the season at Florida, and I'm there watching the game. I'm watching with my co-host, Amber Wilson, and I turned to her. It's like late first quarter, and I turned to go, Cam Ward is like so nonchalant.
Yeah.
And I think that's the theme of the way he plays. He is so calm. He's never rattled. And even the game at Cal, where they're down by 3 touchdowns, and he still has the exact same demeanor, and he's still leading them in the huddle, and he's getting everybody going. But when I say he's getting everybody going, he wasn't doing any rah-rah nonsense. Like, that's not who he is. It's not what he does. He was just the same. He was the same as he always is, and it probably gives a very calming presence to the rest of the guys in that huddle where they're freaking out. We're down by 25 points here, but he's just Cam Ward. He's being Cam Ward, and he definitely thought they were still going to be able to win that game.
Yeah,
and he was right. Like, he's the same guy at every point in the game, which I think will bode well, hopefully, when they get to the playoffs, because, you know, look, it's hard to go undefeated. They almost lost to Virginia Tech. They almost lost to Cal. But when they get to these playoffs, you're going to see, if they get to the playoffs, This is a different animal.
Yeah.
The SEC teams, the Big Ten teams that they would face there, completely different animal from these teams on the ACC schedule, because they don't see Clemson until maybe the ACC championship game. Like, that's the only other team here in the ACC that is on the level of these playoff teams.
You think he can win the Heisman? Like, it's going to be hard to steal it from Genty. Genty's going to have some kind of fall
everyone's
off.
on Genty's tip. He's got that momentum.
If they run the table, Genty's got it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If the Canes run it, the Canes are a national title contender. Isn't being a quarterback on a national title contender and undefeated more important than being the running back for Boise?
So you're right. I agree with you because of the recent history that we've had with the Heisman voting, and then you look at the NFL, same thing going on where Derrick Henry's about to break the all-time.
I think Derrick Henry's the MVP of the NFL.
Right. So hold on, pump the brakes. How can you think Derrick Henry's MVP of the NFL and then not turn and use that same logic in college football?
Because the competition's not the same.
They played Oregon's possession.
It's only one game, though. It's not the same. You look at the other teams that Boise's playing throughout the season.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, every game, it's a professional team he's playing.
Yeah.
Not the same competition.
Well, and I agree with you. I believe Cam Ward should be the Heisman. I do think he seals it up. I just feel like there's that, I don't want to call it voter fatigue, but there's almost like that push, kind of like when Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA a couple of years ago, and he definitely did not deserve it.
Well, and with Genty, we're seeing something, if he ends up surpassing Barry Sanders, we're seeing something that we haven't seen in decades, where with Cam Ward, we see great quarterback play every year.
Yeah.
So that's going to hurt him.
It's going to hurt him. He would have to do something prolific, maybe like a 5-touchdown game against Florida State.
Oh, I think it's coming.
You follow that up, too, again, against Clemson. He's got to, really put on a show there because he has no other places to be on the national
he would
stage.
have to win the ACC championship for him to win the Heisman.
But I think he has to win it, in again, a huge day. Like, he has to do something prolific, have a Heisman moment against Clemson.
Well, I think if they were to beat Clemson, it would have to be with him having a big game. They're not going to beat them without not having a big game. So,
I don't know. Those running backs, man. Those running backs real good. Cristobal and Dawson inclined to stick with the run game. Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see what Miami looks like, but it starts this week, and we can both agree on that as they host the Noles. And, of course, this weekend, again, you'll be in Nashville for Texas versus Vandy, a battle of 2 ranked SEC teams. If I said this 10 years ago, Texas versus Vandy, a battle of 2 nationally ranked in the AP Top 25 poll SEC teams, you would have thought I was off the juice.
Yeah, I mean, Texas obviously had many down years, but
they were in the Big 12 too.
But Vanderbilt, of course, I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see that.
But I was focused more on both of them being ranked because Vanderbilt coming in number 25 is just as odd.
It is. It absolutely is. But you'll be there. We know that's where we can find you on Saturday. Yeah. But how can the good people find you every day for the Zaslow Show 2.0?
Yeah, thanks, Theo. So Saturday, ESPN Radio College Football Tailgate, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to be live right outside the stadium from the Airstream studio in Nashville. And, of course, every day, Monday through Friday, wherever you get your podcasts, Zaslow Show 2.0. We are South Florida. We are Miami-centric. And it's brought to us by Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys. They are the title sponsor of everything Zaslow Show 2.0. If you're dealing with a personal injury, doesn't matter how you got it. Slip and fall, motorcycle, hit and run, car, boating. You deal with your health. You let somebody fight for you and get you the compensation you deserve. Anajar and Levine, Accident Attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733.
Zaz, much appreciated you pulling up.
It's a nice studio. I enjoyed this. I will come back.
Come on. It's
nice.
Beautiful. It's a beauty. And we'll let you get on your way in a second. We do have Take It to the House trivia coming up on the other side, right, C-Cat?
Oh, we sure do. We need people to call in.
Okay. Hit my theme music right here. There we go.
This your theme music?
Well, not my theme music technically, but it's the house's theme music.
Okay, all right.
You love Take It to the House, right? That was a
everyone likes this song.
Yeah. It was a jam. You're a South Florida guy.
Yeah.
So if you want to take it to the house this weekend and have the bill be on us here at ESPN West Palm, and I'm talking about a $50 gift card, call in right now so you can pick a contestant in the Take It to the House trivia, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. The House West Palm, the restaurant that sits right off of the park, the 18-hole golf course. It is beautiful. It is lovely. A great environment not only to watch games at, take a date to, or maybe you just finish up a round of golf and you sit down and you have some American coastal cuisine. I recently went to the house. C-Cat, I usually go pretty much every weekend, but I went this past time, and boy, I tell you, they got this new steak sandwich on the menu.
Whoa.
They've got obviously the lobster corn dogs are always going to hit. Their truffle fries can't miss. My favorite thing about the house right now, though, if you take a seat at their bar outside that sits right offside of that Lit 9 Park 3-course, 2-for-1 drinks.
No.
During the NFL slate on Sundays. 2-for-1 drinks on Sundays if you pull up there and you watch on all their great TVs, and their cocktails are craft. They are deliciously made. I like pretty much every one I order off the menu. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776 for your chance to win a $50 gift card to the House West Palm. Check out their menu online, thehousewestpalm.com. It is delectable, and I promise you we won't steer you wrong. Every time I bring somebody to the house, they hit me up and say, when can we go again? 888-760-3776. The person you choose between myself, Theo Dorsey, and C-Cat in the House West Palms trivia game, if they win, you get to go to the house with a $50 gift card. So call in one last time, 888-760-3776. We'll take your calls. You'll pick your contestant on the other side. Take it to the house trivia on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. According to Lillian Rizzo of CNBC, Major League Soccer set a fresh regular season record with nearly 11.5 million fans attending games. The growth comes a year after the league implemented a new club performance unit led by Chris McGowan, which advises clubs on business strategies. The league, which saw its regular season end this past weekend, also experienced more fan engagement on social media and notches record sponsorship revenue. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Hurricane fans, get ready for one of the biggest rivalries in college football. On October 26th, it's the Miami Hurricanes and the Florida State Seminoles at Hard Rock Stadium. It's an orange out, wear orange, and bring the noise in a game you don't want to miss. The Canes and Noles, October 26th. Tickets are going fast, so secure yours now by visiting MiamiHurricanes.com or by calling 1-800-GO-CANES.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the South Florida community. That's why they offer military banking products, champion veteran-owned businesses, and provide support to local organizations that empower veterans and their families with the resources they need to succeed. PNC Bank. See how they can help you at pnc.com/military. The PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated, all rights reserved. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack. Another week in the book, and it was a monster week. After 11-5 2 weeks ago, football goes 12-3 last week, and that was just the beginning. Players props win, bases win, UFC wins. We are building profit weekly. What does this week hold? A $99 weekend special through Monday. Go to fatjacksports.com, and we're going to continue our great streak for only $99 through Monday. As I said, 12-3 last week and only $99 through Monday. Go to fatjacksports.com to win.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
DeAndre Hopkins just said, I haven't played meaningful football in a couple of years. Well, buddy, it's your lucky day, because you ain't going to be playing nothing but meaningful football games with the Kansas City Chiefs coming soon. Speaking of meaningful, it's about time we take it to the house. Before we do, I do want to tell you, though, because it is absolutely important you stay up to date with keeping your air conditioning unit in control, keeping it serviced, keeping it ready to go. You never know when that heat's going to hit in South Florida, and I know exactly where you should go to make sure you have your household in a comfortable position. EDSIsYes.com. EDSIsYes.com. They are your trusted AC experts right here in Palm Beach County. A 4.8-star Google rating with over 760 reviews. I mean, come on. They've been doing this for a minute. Longer than some of your favorite quarterbacks been throwing the ball around. They've been keeping you cool since 2006. 24/7 support on EDSIsYes.com. Timely service. Schedule it around your schedule. EDSIsYes.com. For all your AC and plumbing needs, tap in with EDS. I'm a Gold Plan member. It is an excellent place to be because I have no doubt they've got my back. EDSIsYes.com. EDSIsYes.com. CCAT, it's time for Take It to the House trivia. CCAT right here. I'm Theo Dorsey, and Cade Chumsland is pulled up. He's going to be the one answering the questions. Cade, he had some great golf shots this morning, by the way.
We did all right this morning out there.
You hit some great shots. I'm not saying, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to discuss how everybody did. You hit some great shots. CCAT did as well. I owe you $10. Speaking of money, we do have somebody on the line here on the Baptist Health Hotline who's ready to win a $50 gift card to the House West Palm, depending on who they choose. CCAT, who we got?
We've got Paul in West Palm Beach. He joins us live on the air right now.
Paul, what's happening, man? Happy Thursday to you.
Hey, happy Thursday. Thank you.
Are you inclined to take it to the house this weekend? Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, so who you going to roll with? Again, the way this works, C-Cat and I play trivia against each other. Cade asks the questions. The person you pick, if they win, you get a $50 gift card to the house, West Palm. Who you picking between myself and C-Cat?
Today, I'm feeling C-Cat.
All right. All right. And he did that without knowing the topic, which I should have probably asked Cade. Thank you, Paul. He'll be on hold. Cade, what's the topic today?
The NBA season just got rolling, so we're NBA style, but everything's going to start with coming into this season.
Okay.
So we're talking very much present day NBA trivia.
Bring Paul back on. Bring Paul back on, please. Paul, we're talking NBA. Are you still sticking? I'm not leading you in one direction. Are you still sticking with C-Cat?
I'll stick with my pick.
Stick with your pick. This is a guy that has some guts. He's got guts. All right, again, my sound sounds like this. C-Cat's like this. Hi. When we hit the button, we get to answer first. Cade, what's the first NBA question?
Let's get her going. Coming into this season, outside of LeBron, who has the most career points from an active NBA player?
Hi. I'm going to have to go with Stephen Curry.
That is incorrect.
What's with the laugh?
Is
that a bad answer?
No, only because he kind of came on a little late, and he also I have an answer. I think it might be wrong as well because I'm trying to figure out who's older, still hanging around and active.
3's more than 2, though.
What do you mean?
Like, Steph hits a lot of threes. He came in the league later, so that's what I thought.
But think about another
it's
guy.
Not a laughable answer, Theo. You should be laughing.
It kind of is when you think about one of his former teammates, Kevin Durant.
That is correct.
That's, an older guy that also has been filling it up for longer. Steph had the beginning of his career was a little short. What's the question 2?
Question number 2, coming into this season.
That's a good answer, C-Cat.
Thank you.
According to Hard Rock Bet, who is the favorite to come out of the Western Conference?
The Western Conference is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That is correct.
Yeah! Also, okay, let's go. Next.
Over the last several years, the MVP award has been dominated by 3 players, Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid. Coming into this season, who was the last NBA player to win the coveted award other than those 3?
Theo, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah. Who are the 3 people you just said, though? You said Giannis, Embiid, and Jokic.
Embiid.
Okay, Steph Curry.
Incorrect.
Oh, that was my answer.
Yeah.
I gave you a hike, but you already answered, so I kind of have the clock to run out here. MVPs, not named Curry, not named Jokic, not named Giannis, and the third was who?
That was it.
That you said.
You just said 3.
Embiid.
No, but one of them was Curry that I said. Embiid. LeBron James?
Incorrect.
Absolutely not. So nobody gets it right.
We are looking for the 2018 season of James Harden.
Wow.
That's the worst award that's ever been handed out. He is an awful basketball player, James Harden. He does not deserve the MVP.
He earned it that
Shout out
year.
our man Colin Russo, also behind the glass, giving everyone
No, it's so easy when you're not the man in the arena.
Glance ever.
It's so easy when you're not the one on the gun.
That man was triple dagger after Steph Curry. He destroyed every three-point attempt record.
17. Was it? Was that?
It was Steph Curry. It's
Curry's
Steph Curry, and then
year?
it was,
Okay.
and then it was Harden, and then it's the other.
Okay,
one.
so what's the score right now? It's 1-1.
1-1 with 2 questions left.
And actually, I'm sorry. Thank you, Colin. Again, Colin's the man back there. He needs to be on some of this trivia.
No, he's
it
not.
was Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook for the 2017 season.
Another
number 4.
Triple-double season without KD. Dang it. Okay.
Number 4 on our list. Coming into the season, with an average player age of 28.31, which NBA team has the oldest roster?
Wow.
Old heads, huh?
Man. That's tough. 28.3, oldest roster. It's not the...
It's tough.
That's a
trying
really
to give thinking
one.
sounds for radio.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I'll just go with one because I don't care. Lakers.
Incorrect.
All right. I feel gross saying this. The Bucks.
Incorrect. We are looking for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
Wow. I guess PG kind of brought that age up.
He did, and I guess they don't have a lot of young draft picks. You got.
I just think it's Tyrese Maxey.
Maxey's young. You got the new kid out of Duke that paints his nail, McCann. I'm surprised by that. Okay, what's next? Last question. This for all the Marbles. If I win, Paul doesn't get to go to the house. C-Cat, that's the pressure that's on you.
Okay. I got 2 bonus questions if we have to go to overtime, but here is number 5. Coming into this season, we've got 2 stars from down in Texas. What is the height difference between San Antonio Spurs stars Victor Wembanyama and Chris Paul?
All right, 7'5" minus 6 foot. CP is 6 feet flat. So 7'5" minus 6 foot would be that much. It's 12 inches plus 5, 17 inches.
Incorrect.
Okay. 20 inches.
Incorrect.
Oh, it's 16 then.
Victor is 7'4".
He's 7'5", though. That's the problem with that one.
No, he's
he
not.
is. He literally is. Next question, though. The house trivia here. 2 bonus questions from Kate Chumsland. C-Cat versus Theo. Paul is on the line. If C-Cat wins, Paul gets a $50 gift card to the house. And if I win, well, Paul, womp, womp, womp. You should have changed your vote to me.
Off the record, if I lose, I might Venmo Paul. I'll feel so bad. But go ahead, Cade.
Why would you go 20? I gave you the heights.
I'll be honest, there was stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I didn't quite hear the answer.
Coming into this season, according to Bleacher Report, which team is most likely to end this season dead last in season standings?
According to Bleacher Report, those guys know about the sport of basketball. Got to get in the brain of those jabronis. Bad basketball teams. Really low over-unders.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad ones this year, too.
You know what? I love my guy, Cade Cunningham. Is it the Pistons?
No,
sir.
No. I knew it wouldn't be them. So it's either between the Nets, the Wizards, and the I'm trying to think of who else is just terrible. It's not going to be the Jazz. The Jazz would have to trade some pieces off to get on that list. So it's either Nets or Wizards. I'll go with the I hate to do this to Paul. I'm going with the Wizards.
That is correct.
Sorry, Paul.
Why are you happy, Cade?
I'm sorry, Paul.
Someone got the answer right after 3 incorrect answers, okay? The host likes winning.
This is a sad day. I won, but I'm not as happy about it. I gave Paul a chance to switch his vote to me. Can you bring Paul on right quick? I'm so sorry. Paul, I'm sorry we had to do that to you. No $50 gift card this time around.
That's all right. It was a tough round.
Oh, good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for sticking with your pick of C-Cat. The House West Palm trivia. C-Cat versus me. It doesn't feel as good, C-Cat.
No, it's nice when you've got the backing of the caller behind you, pushing you to the finish line. It doesn't feel good. I let Larry and Boynton down, didn't I?
Yeah, but at least when you did let Larry and Boynton down, I won somebody money.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So I was very happy. I was on a high. I know exactly what it feels like. I lost the first 3. I know exactly what it feels like to let somebody down. So sorry for your loss, Paul.
Series at 3-2 now.
3-2.
I've got 3 wins. Theo's got 2 wins, and we will see.
Well, I'm sure next Thursday we're going to have some baseball-themed World Series stuff, so you'll have a chance to extend that lead again. Kate Chumsland, appreciate you pulling up. Again, everybody, thehousewestpalm.com. Go and pull up and check them out, even if you don't get the $50 gift card. And we'll be back every single Thursday to give a $50 gift card out to the house on Thursdays. About what time? 2:45.
Yeah.
About 2:45 on Thursdays. Set your watch to it. Paul, call in next time and go with the good guy. That's C-Cat. That's Cade. I'm Theo Dorsey. We are Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
It's time to save thousands during the model year-end sales event at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. The new 2025 Kias are on the ground, which means the 2024s need to go. A new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $149 per month. Make no payments until next year. Plus, we want your trade. You can get up to $6,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. And if you have a job bringing home $350 per week, we want to improve your credit so you can drive home your new Kia today. Only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Qualified applicants through KFA, 24-month lease, $34.99 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, 0 security deposit required, plus tax tag and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. 90 days deferred payments. Interest accrues from date of purchase. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 11/5/24.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Anajar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein, and this is Rubenstein's Rules for Personal Injury. Rule number 1, get an attorney. When you or a loved one have been injured by another's negligence, an experienced attorney can make a huge difference. At Rubenstein Law, we will find all of the insurance, make sure your injuries are documented, and work to get you the best result. While each case is different, a well-known insurance company's own study showed people with a lawyer, on average, got more money. Call Rubenstein Law at 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Offices in Palm Beach and throughout Florida.
Welcome to Homestead Miami, your home for the racing high life. A track as vibrant and colorful as South Florida. An Xfinity and Craftsman Truck Series playoffs doubleheader on Saturday. A Cup Series playoffs showdown on Sunday. And it's all caliente.
Side by side for the race lead.
NASCAR playoffs weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, October 26th and 27th. Get your tickets now at homesteadmiamispeedway.com.
Hell of a job, guys.
ESPN West Palm and Humana are proud to recognize military veterans within our local community. Our Veteran of the Month is Richard Codd. Richard served 4 years in the United States Air Force while stationed in Montana, with 2 overseas deployments in Kuwait. Throughout his service, he exhibited remarkable dedication and skill. Richard is committed to honoring our nation's heroes every day in his personal and professional life while he lives in Port St. Lucie. He's an avid soccer fan and devoted supporter of Real Madrid, one of the best teams in the world, with the likes of Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. His favorite athlete is none other than Real Madrid legend Cristiano Ronaldo. Join us in extending our heartfelt gratitude to Richard for his unwavering service, sacrifice, and continued dedication to his fellow veterans. Richard Codd is the Veteran of the Month, presented by ESPN West Palm and Humana.
Join Yingling and ESPN West Palm this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at E.R. Bradley Saloon in downtown West Palm. Enjoy Yingling flight bottle specials and $5 pints. The ESPN West Palm Street Team is on hand with tailgating games, prizes, and Yingling swag. Watch Miami take on Arizona and the entire 1 o'clock Sunday slate. It's Yingling and ESPN West Palm Sunday at E.R. Bradley Saloon on Clematis Street in West Palm. Must be 21 plus. Presented by Yingling, America's oldest brewery. Please drink responsibly.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack. Another week in the book, and it was a monster week. After 11-5 2 weeks ago, football goes 12-3 last week, and that was just the beginning. Players props win, bases win, UFC wins. We are building profit weekly. What does this week hold? A $99 weekend special through Monday. Go to fatjacksports.com, and we're going to continue our great streak for only $99 through Monday. As I said, 12-3 last week and only $99 through Monday. Go to fatjacksports.com to win.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at PNC.com. Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
Streaming live on YouTube.
You're gonna break up with me because of what I do on the radio?
Here's Theo Dorsey.
Good people. I'm going to tell you right now, if you missed the conversation with Jonathan Zaslow Show 2.0, tap in on the YouTube at Theo Speaking. The YouTube stream, of course, presented by Prize Picks. You can watch that back. You can also download Theoretically Speaking anywhere you get your podcast. That was great. Talk some college football. Talk some quarterback regret. And also, of course, we had to tap in on Vandy and Texas. Sea-Cats on the other side of the glass on the ones and twos. And it's the happy hour. So raise a cup to Espresso Martino. What's happening with you?
Happy Thursday, Theo.
Yeah.
You guys had quite a nice evening.
Yeah, man. We were out golfing, Tina. We were hitting them. Hitting the links.
Hitting the links.
Hitting them straight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some of us were. Some of us were hitting them straight. Some of us were hitting them straight into where the cars were driving at.
Oh.
And then there was a Sea Cat who went right into the pool of water a couple of times as well. We had ourselves a mixed bag day, but we went to this new course. I hadn't been to it before. Sea Cat, you hadn't played it yet either. But our teammate John O'Terry introduced us to it. And for me, Sea Cat, it was challenging, but damn, it was beautiful, and it also was a hell of a lot of fun to play.
You would not have been able to tell that a hurricane and tornadoes went through there 2 weeks ago. The place was spotless. It was spectacular. We're talking about the club at Lost Lake in Hobe Sound, just north of Jupiter. It's an exclusively private club beginning on January 1st, 2025. It's incredible. I loved this place. The club at Lost Lake in Hobe Sound, dude.
The best part about it for me was mainly because, and Tina, how often, when's the last time you actually golfed at a golf course? Been a while?
A year ago at our golf outing.
Okay.
At our Boca Raton Bowl golf outing where I hit a ball into a house.
Well, it's maybe good that you've put those clubs down. You've retired them for a little bit.
After that, I actually went to Kazoo University and did some golf lessons. And, Peter over there helped me out.
He did. So playing over there at Lost Lake, the thing that helped me the most with our game today, and we only did 9 holes, was at the driving range. They had the pyramid stacked up of balls early, and we were able to go there and get some balls up off of the ground. So, yes, it's going to be exclusively private starting next year. Only 325 golf memberships. That's not a lot. You might want to get in on it if you want to be able to jump in and have a new course to play. It's in Hobe Sound. They have a championship Fazio-designed golf course, and I would jump on it right now because it's one of the better private club values in the area. So I'm not just saying that because we played it. I'm saying it because it actually looked really good. I should have got a pickup while we were out there, but Sea Cat hates pictures, Tina.
He does.
Sea Cat hates pictures.
I know that you guys had good service out there because, you guys joined a company call that we had.
We did.
Or an internal call that we had earlier today.
Yeah.
So the girlfriends, the wifeys don't have to worry. The fellas.
We were actually there.
They were there.
We were actually
and there's good service out there. So if you do go to the club at Lost Lake, you have full service.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. We actually met Brooks Koepka's swing coach, Warren Bakke.
Yeah.
Like, where else are you going to be able to do that?
And Warren gave us some good tips. We'll put those tips out on YouTube soon, some good golf tips. Kay Chumsland had a video that's going to be coming out on that. So Warren was great. The course was great. If you do want information on how you can get a membership there, membership at lostlake.club. Membership at lostlake.club. Again, it's in Hobe Sound. They were great hosts for us, and just want to shout them out for starting our day off right. Who didn't start their day off right were New York Giants fans. Tina, whenever somebody has to come out and make a public statement to say, hey, I won't be firing these 2 guys this year, is that a good sign?
No.
Yeah, like you shouldn't have to say. That's like me, who I just got married to my wife in February. She's great. She's amazing. She does, we've been best buds for a decade. So no issues there.
Yes.
That's like me, tweeting right now. Hey, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. Won't be divorcing my wife this year.
We're still good.
We're good. Won't be divorcing her in 2025. Don't you worry about a thing.
And the crazy thing, it's so inverted because that there was a positive reaction when Brian Daboll saw that news.
Yeah.
When Shane saw that news. I don't think it'd be the same thing if your wife woke up and saw that PR press release from Theo Dorsey.
Yeah, she wouldn't because you never say that when things are going right. But the Giants are 2-5. General manager Joe Shane is dealing with the Giants coming off that embarrassing loss to the Eagles. They decided this offseason, Saquon Barkley not worth the squeeze, and then he squoze them to smithereens through the run game. And then also they tied themselves to Daniel Jones, who Tina, you think – no, you love the way Josh Allen looks. What's your thoughts on Daniel Jones? What's his appearance like in your book?
He's a good-looking guy. What's different about him, this year? Is it the facial hair? The facial hair has helped a lot.
Yeah, well, it's not helping him play football well. The Giants 2-5. He's looked miserable, and
Maybe
I know that.
Maybe a modeling career for him then.
He's in New York.
Yeah.
He's in New York. That's where you launch your modeling career at.
He's a Duke graduate, so I think that there might be something there for him. He's got something up in the noggin.
What a Duke graduate.
As far as football schools go, Duke, in terms of education, it's up there.
It is up there for football schools.
Duke, Vandy, Northwestern, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Smart schools.
It is, but it's funny because Daniel Jones just doesn't strike you as a Dookie.
No, he's kind of a doofus. If we're going to call a spade, Daniel Jones gives off doofus vibes.
He a little bit. He just, but the facial hair has helped kind of circumvent a little bit of that. He looks more serious this year, but he's not playing that way. So since the Giants are tied to him through this year, their owner, Mara's like, I'm good. I'm not gonna jump the ship. I'm not going to, be a quick reactor and fire my head coach and general manager Brian Daboll and Joe Shane due to the incompetence of the roster that we have. I'm going to give you another shot. That's nice for them. Earlier, Tina, we posed the question, which NFL team is going to be next to regret their quarterback situation that they paid so much that they got to do something like that. Step out on a limb and say, hey, we're going to retain everybody in the front office. We're going to retain our head coach despite the poor performance on the field. And we both agreed, C-Cat and I, and even Jonathan Zaslow, that it's the 49ers. If the 49ers, which again, that date, January 6th, that's a date that resonates. January 6th, that's the first day that Brock Purdy can actually be eligible for extension. It's the day after the regular season. If the Niners extend him to a deal that makes it harder for them to pay the pieces around him, and I'm talking about a deal that's $50 million a year plus, they're going to be living with some regret very soon, because the standard right now for a Kyle Shanahan Niners team is to win a Super Bowl. And if you're paying Brock Purdy more than the Chiefs are paying Patrick Mahomes, you're never going to get over that hump. You're never going to go into a Super Bowl against a better talent at quarterback getting paid less, who's being able to be surrounded by more talent.
I'm very honest about I do not follow football that closely. That surprises me that you two said that.
Really?
Why do I feel like they're, from like the outside, why do I feel like they're good though? They're
the
49ers,
okay. They have been good, but they're 3-4 right now. There's a lot of injuries, and also Brock Purdy has not played up to the bill this year as much because of the injuries to some of his main targets.
Okay.
So that's the problem going forward. I'm not saying, yes, the Niners are good. They might not make the playoffs this year. In fact, I would bargain to say, I've been saying it all offseason, they're going to miss the playoffs this season. They got the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football this weekend, and that's one of those walk the plank games, because the Cowboys, who just got embarrassed by the Lions, they're 3-3 right now?
Yeah.
The Cowboys are in desperate need for a win in that spot. The Niners also feel that same way, but the Niners have so many players out with injury. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. We don't know the status if Deebo will be there or not, but what we do know is the Cowboys are healthier than they've been for the majority of the year. They're coming off a bye week, and Mike McCarthy is money coming off a bye week. If the Niners go down 3-5 this year, or again Sunday night, if they lose on Sunday Night Football and Brock Purdy doesn't look good, maybe that's best case scenario for the Niners, because maybe that will be a data point for them to use to say, hey, Brock Purdy, you ain't getting $55 million, maybe 40.
See, maybe I'm looking at it as like the 49ers have some grace because they've been like pretty well these past few years. And I'm looking at it as like those who have just sucked, where it's like you are you would be putting, like, you need to be more worried about those teams than the 49ers. And I think that's why it shocks me that you would say that the 49ers are the ones to worry about.
But the bill is due. That's the reason. The bill is due on the Niners, whereas other teams, that's the problem. You could be a victim of your own success in that point. Like C-Cat, you agree that if the Niners pay Brock Purdy $55 million plus, it's going to strap the rest of the roster, and they could be hitting a ceiling that's not a Super Bowl after that.
Yeah, we're seeing Kyle Shanahan do the most with the least at quarterback throughout his career with that 49ers organization, and we're getting the sneak preview of what the Brock Purdy-led 49ers, after he's being paid, we're getting a sneak preview of it right now in the 3-4 third place in the NFC West, because a lot of those weapons are injured. And going forward in the future, it's not that those weapons will be injured, it's that they won't be able to afford those weapons, and those weapons will disappear, and they'll become lower-end draft picks. That's what will happen to the supporting cast to Brock Purdy, and that roster is not going to be the climax that we saw a couple of years ago.
It boils down to this. Who do you feel more comfortable putting extra pressure on? John Lynch as the GM to draft expertly. And that's the problem with draft. Like, people say you got to just draft well over the next few years. It's still a crapshoot. It's still hit or miss. You don't know what kind of guys you're bringing in. You don't know what their work ethic is going to be like. You don't know if they're going to bust or not until you really get them in your locker room and play with them a couple of seasons. So drafting well is a misnomer. It's hard to do that consistently. Or do you put more pressure on Kyle Shanahan to maybe you franchise Brock Purdy, you make him play another year under that rookie deal, and you extend out the time in which you can surround him with talent and risk that you might have to restart the quarterback clock. And Shanahan has proven to us time and time again he's able to win with mediocre quarterback play. He did it with Jimmy Garoppolo. He did it with like Nick Mullins. And then he did it with Brock Purdy until Brock Purdy has shown himself to be a step above that. It just might be foolish for them to then pay him superstar money, because that's what you got to pay franchise quarterbacks. You got to pay him superstar money. And now you're having to win with Brock Purdy, but without the elite weapons. It could get ugly for the Niners.
Could you imagine if the 49ers re-signed Sam Darnold to that backup quarterback level contract before he showed out with the Vikings? Because Sam Darnold was a 49er last year, a backup to Brock Purdy. If they kept him for this year and maybe with plans for the future, knowing what they knew about Sam Darnold, enough to keep him on the roster, we heard Bill Belichick talk on the Manning cast that pretty much everyone knew Sam Darnold was a starter in the NFL. He went to a garbage situation in both Carolina and in New York. If the 49ers were able to hold on to Sam Darnold, easily pass the torch from your younger guy, believe it or not, Brock Purdy, to your older guy, Sam Darnold, on the value contract they would have had with him, would have been a match made in heaven.
That is why the bargain shopping that the Buccaneers did to get Baker Mayfield and that the Vikings did to get Sam Darnold look like beautiful, just excellent GM, savvy, sharp moves. And then there's teams like the Giants that extend a mediocre quarterback to a superstar deal, and they feel bad about it. You have to, when you don't have an elite quarterback, sometimes you got to bargain shop. Sometimes you got to live on a budget. The good thing, though, Tina, you know about finding a good deal. And you know what a good deal looks like because you shop at a place that gives you that variety. And also, you know, there's the high-end stuff, and then also there's some budget rack stuff. It's affordable for everybody at the Gardens Mall.
It is, and that's my favorite place to shop. I just was there this past weekend to get some new running shoes. Went to Fit to Run. They did like a test on my feet. It was pretty cool.
Did you eat there?
I always eat at the Gardens Mall.
What did you get? That food court's ridiculous.
I go to Tap 42. They have an amazing happy hour. Their appetizers, their drinks. They have girls' night on Thursdays. You get a Caesar salad and a free side of fries and 50% off drinks. It's amazing. Or Cooper's Hawk. That's my spot for a good wine tasting. Or hey, the food court. There's so many options there. From Chipotle, from Chick-fil-A, you can get a smoothie, you can get a salad, you can get some dessert.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack. There's so much at the Gardens Mall. And again, the Tommy Bahama, Marlin Bar. We could name so many places at the Gardens Mall where you can eat, you can shop, everything all under one roof. And experience the Halloween magic. Still, Halloween is next in 1 week. 1 week is Halloween. So if you haven't gone to the Gardens Mall yet, you need to. This weekend, they've got so much stuff going on. The Batty Manor is open in the Grand Court, and they have the Stilt Walkers there from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Bring the little monsters to the Kids Club Spooky at the Gardens Mall. Wear your costume, and you get to take cool photo ops all around the mall. Again, it is the premier shopping destination in Palm Beach County, and they go all out during the holidays. 1 mile east off I-95 and PJ Boulevard, the Gardens Mall.
888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. That's the number to call into the show here on Theoretically Speaking. Which NFL franchise will be next to regret paying their quarterback? The Jaguars just paid Trevor Lawrence big money this offseason. So did the Lions with Jared Goff, and so did the Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa, who is scheduled to likely return this weekend against the Cardinals. But there's also a couple of teams that are gearing up to pay their signal callers, and it might be a mistake. 888-760-3776. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline and let us know who you got there. C-Cat, we talked to the people about Baptist Health earlier, but I want them to know again as they conjure up the idea of what franchise might be living in a pool of regret after they shower their quarterback with money. Is joint pain affecting your quality of life? At Baptist Health Orthopedic Care, our team is experienced in traditional joint replacement surgery as well as new, less invasive treatments with the goal of returning you to what you love as quickly as possible. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care combines its resources of experienced physicians and leading-edge treatments and technology to provide advanced orthopedic, foot and ankle, joint replacement, spine, and sports medicine care. Visit baptisthealth.net/ortho for more information today. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care has offices conveniently located in Palm Beach County, right on through the Florida Keys. Learn more by visiting baptisthealth.net/ortho. The Giants, they feel foolish. The Jaguars might be leaning that way And there's several teams that have quarterback decisions right around the corner, including the Niners, who I feel like are going to be the next franchise to regret paying their quarterback if they pay Brock Purdy big money. But what say you? 888-760-3776. Call in to Theoretically Speaking. We have Vontae in Atlanta. Vontae is on right now. Happy Thursday to you, Vontae. Hope you're enjoying yourself. But which NFL franchise do you think is going to be not so much enjoying their future if they pay their quarterback next?
Well, everything is going good. I hope everything is going good with you guys.
Yes, sir.
But I think, I know Tua already got paid, but I still say Tua. Reason being, if he gets one more concussion, I honestly think that Miami has to be done with him just because to save him from himself. But I already think they're looking at a plan for the future.
Yeah, that's a good call. Appreciate the call, Vontae. They just committed the money to him this offseason because he proved he could stay healthy for a full season last year. And then, what is it, 4 games into this year? I think that was week 4 that they played the Bills, or week 3, actually. I think that was week 3.
That was week 2.
No, it was week 3. Week 2?
I think that was week 2.
It was the week you
because
were out of
I was
town.
gone.
You were in Italy. Was that week 2?
It was like September 14th. And
it was a Thursday night football game, and it was against the Bills. And, week 2 or week 3, whatever it was too soon for a quarterback who you just committed more than $50 million a year, $160 million guaranteed to.
Week 2.
It was week 2.
It was week 2 on September 12th. My bad.
Oh, my God. That is so early to just have your full season derailed. Now, they can pick it back up if they get that win against the Cardinals this weekend. I have a hunch that they will be able to. But, yeah, the Miami Dolphins could end up regretting that contract in a severe way, and I don't know what your way out of it would be, especially if he ends up medically retiring or something like that. If he stays healthy, it's a good contract. Married with Mike McDaniel, with his receiving core that's going to be back. If he stays healthy, it's going to be a good contract because the Dolphins will stay relevant. But, what do you gauge as good for the Dolphins in the next 3 years? Like, do they really have prospects on contending for a Super Bowl?
Good for the Dolphins is the goal they have yet to break in 24 years.
Win a playoff game.
Win a playoff game. That is good for the Dolphins. It's different for every franchise in the NFL. That's their standard right now. Let's break that curse.
He could do that. If Tua can stay healthy for a full season, the Dolphins can win a playoff game maybe next year. But even this year, even if Tua was healthy this season, at best they're a wild card team, and that means they're on the road again in a cold weather month against a better football team if you're on the road in the playoff.
Right. It's almost like in order to achieve that goal of win a playoff game for the Dolphins, because of the way the team's built, it's not just make the playoffs and win a game then. No, you kind of have to do it the Dolphins way.
Yeah.
You have to have a spectacular regular season to get a home playoff game and then win that game then.
You got to win the AFC East. And based on what we saw, even with a healthy Tua in week 2 for the first 3 quarters of that game, there is a huge gap between the Bills and the Dolphins in favor of Buffalo, and it's not getting any smaller because this is a down year for Buffalo. This is the year where you would try and catch the Bills. The Jets are down. Buffalo's down. New England's on the upswing right now, but they're not a good football team. This was the year for the Dolphins to win the AFC East. They missed their chance. I don't know what next year is going to look like. I feel bad for Fins fans right now.
I don't want to get too extreme with this, and it's a very weird purgatory in-between mode if you're a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
But would you rather be a Dolphins fan right now, or would you rather be a Patriots fan right now?
Patriots.
And here, really, that quickly.
Patriots,
the
for
turmoil
sure.
in their locker room. I'm hearing rumors of Gerard Mayo's job being called into question right now.
If you are a Patriots fan, your confidence is through the roof on what Drake May can be. If you're a Dolphins fan, you've seen Tua at his height. You saw him lead the league in passing yards, and then every time you've gone up against a real contender in the NFL, it's embarrassing what happens. You don't just lose, you get embarrassed. And I think for Dolphins fans, they've seen enough of that. They wish they had a rookie-scale quarterback like Drake May, who's only 2 games into his career, where the glass is half full. I think the glass is half empty for most Dolphins fans right now.
Wow, I thought it would be a toss-up, but I thought it was being extreme by saying the Patriots fans feel like they're in a better position.
Jaguars is more comparable.
Okay. Just quarterback paid, there's no light at the end of the tunnel?
The Jaguars and the Dolphins are in similar situations, and that's a bad sign for the Dolphins. That's a terrible sign for the Dolphins because at least the Jaguars can change their coach and just cross their fingers and hope they hire the next Belichick or something. The Dolphins are stuck with Mike McDaniel and Tua and Tyreek and Jalen Waddle for the next 3 years, and their ceiling does not feel like a team that's, going to be there at the end of the road.
And at least for, Dolphins fans, you can kind of just be mad at the world, right? Because it's just injury.
Yeah.
It's injury problem. You can be mad at the guy who decided to pay Tua Tagovailoa this guaranteed money. That can be an anger source. But for Jaguars fans, you have people to point at and say, you suck. You're bad at your job. I'm sick and tired of you. With Miami fans, it's this is just a cursed fan base. This is awful.
It is. It's got to feel bad. But you know what? If you are a Miami Dolphins fan, at least on the other side, what does that sign say that JMP is holding up here in the studios? Tina?
Tiny Tina takeover.
It's a Tiny Tina takeover here on the happy hour on Theoretically Speaking. So Tina, being that it is a Tiny Tina takeover, which is a newly coined phrase, you get a new one every single day.
I know, for real.
Here for Espresso Martina. If you were, let's say you're a fan of a franchise that is, in a very bad spot, like the Dolphins and the Jaguars, what's a hobby you like to do that kind of gets your mind off of the state of your favorite team?
If I'm feeling stressed about my team, the Steelers, which I never am.
You never are. There's never a reason to feel stressed about the Steelers.
But I'm working out. That's my stress reliever.
There you go.
And if I'm working out, I'm going at 45. I'm going to a 5:15 a.m. class. Maybe I'm hitting an afternoon class. Maybe if I have the day off, I hit maybe a noon class. You never know. There's plenty of options to go. F45 Palm Beach Gardens, F45 West Palm Beach. 45-minute workout. You're in, you're out. You break a sweat. If you stick with it, you'll see results. There's strength classes. There's cardio classes. There's a hybrid of both. So many options. Trainers there to modify if you need it. A very supportive and people around you to motivate you to do better, lift heavier. F45 West Palm Beach, F45 Palm Beach Gardens. Check out their Instagram pages to see the specials that they've got going on, or go to f45training.com to find a location near you.
On the other side, we are going to hop on the get around and hit the biggest topics across the nation. Before we do that, though, I have a question for y'all, because y'all are, I can trust y'all. Y'all are good friends of mine.
Fire away.
So if you find out that you were a part of somebody's rock bottom experience, if you find that out, so we were golfing earlier, and C-Cat told me the exact date of when one very good friend of both of ours decided he was never going to drink again. He told me the exact day that it happened. And I'm not going to say any names because I don't want to be, I don't want to put people's stuff out there. But he told me the night that it happened, and I was thoroughly involved in that. And I feel just absolutely floored. I feel terrible, Tina. How should I be feeling in this sense? Because it's almost embarrassing for me.
Because that night is nothing but good memories for you.
Yeah, it was a great night.
It was a crazy night out.
I was like, you know what?
Oh,
let's circle the wagon. Let's do it again.
Everyone exactly who was there, bring them back.
Yes. I wanted the whole team to be back, but apparently it was the moment when somebody else realized, you know what? I'm not built for this. I don't want to do this anymore. Let me change the way I'm living. And, the funny part was it was a great night on the town. It was a great night of drinking and kicking it, and it was all centered around maybe the greatest annual outdoor party in Boca Raton every single year. You know what I'm talking about.
The Boca Raton Bowl?
The Boca Raton Bowl. It didn't happen at the Boca Raton Bowl. It happened afterwards when we went to go kick it. And I think part of it was because last year's Boca Bowl was Syracuse and USF, but only one team pulled up, and it was the Bulls, and they stampeded the Orange. Mm-hmm. So that had to probably do with it. We were just trying to blow some steam off. It was a great night out, and we'll talk about that on the other side. I'll ask you more properly, but I do want to tell y'all about Palm Beach County's premier college football event. It's back, the 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, Wednesday, December 18th, from FAU Stadium and broadcast live on ESPN. Last year's game, we saw it. It was a blowout. USF taking out the ACC power in Syracuse. What will this year's game have in store? Big names, big teams, big action.
Big drinks, too.
Big drinks. There and afterwards. There and certainly afterwards if you're hanging out with Big Teddy.
We like to celebrate after the Boca Raton Bowl.
We kicked it. It was a great night.
It was, yeah.
Come on. The 2024 Boca Raton Bowl, December 18th from FAU Stadium on ESPN. Don't miss out. Find out more at BocaRatonBowl.com. Again, C-Cat is the one that made me aware of that literally this morning, and I'm trying to gauge how I should feel. It legitimately hurts me. My boy Jalen here in the chat, says he feels like I told people that he was part of my reclamation project part of me turning the corner, because in my wedding vows, I was like, yo, my time in North Carolina, that was back when I was kicking it with my boy Jalen. My time in North Carolina, it got a little ugly for me because I was without my wife. He keeps trying to hold that over my head as if that was me saying that he was part of my rock bottom. It wasn't rock bottom. It was rock bottom because it wasn't with my wife. We had a good time in North Carolina. But I'm curious how I should feel that I know for sure it was rock bottom for a buddy of mine that we were out kicking it a little too long, and he changed his life. We'll talk about that on the other side in the happy hour here with Tina and C-Cat. We're theoretically speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Election Day is November 5th. In Palm Beach County, eligible voters can vote during early voting from October 21st through November 3rd at any early voting location. Visit votepalmbeach.gov to find a location, check wait times, and skip the line by making an appointment ahead of time. Don't forget to bring your photo and signature ID. We can't wait to see you at the polls. Sponsored by the Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections Office.
ESPN West Palm is highlighting the best performance of the week, presented by Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Every week, a different team will be featured across ESPN 106.3 and ESPN West Palm Play. The winning performance receives $500, courtesy of Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Do you know a team, player, or school with a killer performance? Nominate them by emailing highschool@espnwestpalm.com. Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Go where the pros go.
Experience football in paradise this fall at FAU Stadium. The Owls host the USF Bulls on Friday, November 1st under the primetime lights in beautiful Boca Raton. Tickets start as low as $20 to catch an AAC rivalry game on a Friday night. It's Florida Atlantic versus USF in a homecoming showdown you cannot miss. Friday, November 1st in Boca Raton. For tickets and more information, visit FAUsports.com. Florida Atlantic Athletics, winning in paradise.
Good Greek, moving and storage. The superhero movers.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Edwin Watts Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? Because I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Join Yingling and ESPN West Palm this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. at E.R. Bradley Saloon in downtown West Palm. Enjoy Yingling flight bottle specials and $5 pints. The ESPN West Palm Street team is on hand with tailgating games, prizes, and Yingling swag. Watch Miami take on Arizona and the entire 1 o'clock Sunday slate. It's Yingling and ESPN West Palm Sunday at E.R. Bradley Saloon on Clematis Street in West Palm. Must be 21 plus. Presented by Yingling, America's oldest brewery. Please drink responsibly.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking. Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Tina, the Boca Bowl parties were fun. They were great. Also, one of the biggest parties every single year is the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches.
I party at the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches.
Come on. PGA National in Palm Beach Gardens, February 27th through March 2nd. It's a vibe. it's ultimately a vibe. Tomorrow we're going to have CEO of the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, Todd Fleming, back on for a Who Missed the Cut. He was a hit. Mm-hmm. You missed that part of the happy hour last week.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Todd is great.
Invite got stuck in the mail somewhere.
Similar to how CCAT, and this is another problem developing here at ESPN West Palm. We'll get to it. We don't get CCAT and I, because we're not in the singles club, we don't get invites anywhere.
Yes.
But I will say this. Single, married, divorced, whatever you got going on.
Situationship, whatever you got going on.
Whatever you got going on, the place to be on February 27th all the way through March 2nd is going to be at PGA National. If you want to host colleagues and clients at the Shoreline Suites, these are hospitality venues for you to kick it at. Or maybe you want to mingle with friends and family at the 1909 Terrace. Come on. Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, February 27th. Go to cognizantclassic.com. There's limited spots remaining. People are eating up these hospitality suites. Todd has told us about it. A lot of stuff that's covered, cabana options. They're taking their game to a new level here as the PGA Tour comes to town. You're going to want to get involved. There's also the Ultimate VIP Week at the Yellow Flamingo Club, cognizantclassic.com to get tapped in. What's up with that, Tina? CCAT and I are, it's not like we want to go to every single thing that the singles club that has been developing here at ESPN West Palm.
We'll call it for what it is. It's a clique.
It's a clique.
There's a clique of people who don't have significant others, and we're not in it, and we are excluded.
We keep feeling slighted by the fact that y'all hang out so often and we don't get invites. So much so that when we do get invited to something, it's almost shocking.
Yeah.
We're at all. Can you help us? Like, how do we volunteer to be put in the group chats that y'all have obviously left us out of?
Do we have to cheat on our significant others? Is that the initiation?
That's what we have to
got to
do?
prove that we're down to hang out with the singles?
Yeah, they're like, these guys, these guys
Squares.
are cornballs.
Oh my gosh, no.
Crazy stuff we're getting into. They couldn't handle it.
No, please do not do that. And first off, I am
Thank
not
you,
even
because you said it right now, Tina.
I am not even a part of those group chats that you guys think that they're happening. Like I'm not even a part of them. But there are obviously a group of us that hang out a lot outside of work. I will invite you guys. I don't
Invite
know.
us.
Like, yeah.
Let us choose whether or not we want to pull up.
Tell us why we're not invited.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're not invited. I'm not the one making the plans.
But you keep getting invited.
Then say it.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
You just cooler than us?
I don't know.
Espresso Martina. Everybody wants to hang out with Tina. Nobody wants to hang out with CCAT and Theo?
I don't know. I feel like, though, I haven't been invited a lot lately because I've been very strict on, like, well, I'm not really going out on Fridays because I'm running is my whole personality at the moment, like marathon training. So it's I can't do much. But I will make sure that when there's an outing and if I hear of it, that y'all are invited.
So are you getting kicked out of the inner circle?
I was for sure kicked out.
With us more.
I for sure was kicked out of the circle of those who hang out.
Sorry
but it's
about that.
okay.
So you admit that it exists? Like, yeah,
Oh, it
exactly.
exists.
Wow.
It exists.
You got her.
It exists. No,
You got
I'll
her.
admit it exists.
It exists, and they are quiet.
And
Quitting
it's the
her,
group of, like,
or
singles.
firing her right now from it.
Sometimes I'll stay here long after work to get work done, and I'll hear shuffling around the office of people that are like stumbling in after a drunk night out.
Yeah.
And it hurts my feelings.
It honestly, it just makes you feel like y'all never even thought of me.
No.
And sometimes y'all don't even think to hide it from us that y'all are kicking it without us. We see it. We notice.
I'm sorry.
One place that I know some of us will be, and also hopefully fans are able to come out and kick it with us as well. When Miami plays Florida State, you're going to want to be in a seat somewhere nice to watch it. And the Bud Light Football Tour is back for Florida State versus Miami this weekend on Saturday. Join the ESPN West Palm Street team. Again, Saturday, the 26th, this weekend from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Boulevard in Boynton Beach. The Boulevard in Boynton Beach. Watched a Dolphins game from there. I think Dolphins Chiefs last year. The NFL on the road game. Come and join us and show your football skills. I love the bar, Boulevard in Boynton Beach. Show us your football skills as we'll be giving away tickets to a University of Miami game. Drink specials include buckets for $20 of Bud Lights and $25 Ultras. Those are buckets. You must be 21 or older to participate. Southern Eagle reminds you to please drink responsibly.
I remember that. You were on the mic. It was the Dolphins Chiefs.
It was Dolphins Chiefs. It was an early game. I think it was a Germany game.
Yes, it was because it was very early.
Early in the morning, and they were still getting them up.
Oh, yes.
They were getting them up.
It's a great spot.
Great spot. We were on them. It was a good time. A good
Tyreek
vibe.
Hill fumbled the football, returned for a touchdown.
Yes.
To get ripped out of his hands.
Yes, I believe that was McDuffie that hit him with that. Tyreek Hill has gotten, last year, two very embarrassing plays against the Chiefs. The one where L'Jarius Sneed jammed them into the ground in the playoffs. And then, the McDuffie punch-out that led to a Chiefs touchdown.
And while we're on the topic,
Williams.
He cursed in the audio, so we can't play it right now. But Tyreek Hill talked to the media the other day, and in regards to Tua returning to the lineup, back healthy again, he said, "Put me in your freaking starting lineups. We are back." He wants to be in everyone's starting lineups in fantasy football. Is that weird to say? Because Austin Eckler, maybe 5 years ago, he was really active in the fantasy football conversation. He's like,
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
But it started about 5 years ago, and he kept that way.
Exactly. Like, hey, I do it for the fantasy football owners out there.
Yeah.
Kind of a little taboo because it borderline gambling,
Yeah, it's
not
like
gambling,
insider
acknowledging
trading
it.
almost,
Like, if you're going to make a decision as a running back with your fantasy football owners in mind, it might not be to win the football game in mind, if that makes sense. Because if Austin Eckler's out there at the 5-yard line, stretching forward, going for the touchdown when he should be going down to risk not fumbling the football, that's kind of wrong. No?
Yeah. It's a gray area because they can always code it by saying or kind of hedge it by saying, hey, I'm just, my fantasy football production is for the benefit of my team because if I score more touchdowns, we win. It was a bit weird for me, and I wondered how people would receive it that Austin Eckler was doing this. But you know what? I think fantasy football managers, reporters, everybody involved around it much more appreciate the Austin Ecklers of the world versus like the Arthur Smiths of the world, who was the head coach for the Falcons, now the offensive coordinator for the Steelers, who would ridicule fantasy football players, seemingly purposefully not target or get the ball to the shiny weapons he had in Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson and whatnot. Like, people like Eckler over Arthur Smith.
Yeah, exactly. What you said, and you were a victim of that because I'm sure you had a bunch of Falcons on your team last year.
I hated Arthur Smith.
The Bijan Robinson, the Kyle Pitts of the world.
Drake London.
Which is weird because would you actually go out of your way if you're an offensive coordinator or a head coach to not give the football to your best teams?
I think Arthur Smith, not saying he went out of his way to do it, but I think when he had an option here and there, I low-key think to spite the people that he really disliked. Because also you got to remember, too, about Arthur Smith. He, his pops made a lot of money. He's a rich dude.
Yeah.
Very rich dude.
So at the 1-yard line,
doesn't give a damn about what happens in the NFL. He doesn't depend on that paycheck.
The options are, let's sneak it with Desmond Ridder last year, or you can hand it off to your first-round running back, Bijan Robinson.
He was a troll.
Chose, let's rush it with Desmond Ridder, who no one's banking on a Desmond Ridder touchdown.
Arthur Smith was a troll. All right. He was a good offensive coordinator, and he still is right now for your Steelers, Tina.
Yes.
I think at times there's a chance here and there he trolled people because then he would almost brag about it in the post-game press conferences. So he kind of showed himself to be that way, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him. When you got that much money in your bank account, that kind of dollars behind your name, and you ain't got much cares in the world, you can do what you want to do. The last call here with Tina. This right here is going to be presented by Prize Picks. I'll talk to y'all about Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. But first, Tina, Espresso Martina, here for this happy hour. What is the last call? What are you cheersing to us on the way out the door?
Today's last call, I was in this situation yesterday.
Uh-oh. Situationship?
If you are hanging out with someone or around a crowd and they start bringing up salts and crystals and signs, I want you to run. Run.
And when you're talking about the crystal gals, the energy folk.
Sage in the air.
Yeah.
Waving it around.
What's your birthday and birth time?
Or guys. Could be a guy who's doing that too.
Guys or gals, whoever. Whatever group you're with.
True. Now,
it was very, I was like in the middle of a conversation and I was like, what is going on?
If I was ever in a conversation with a grown-ass man, especially like a stranger or somebody I just met, and he asked me my sign, I'm like, what are you going to do with that information? Why do you care? I would feel disrespect. Don't ask me about my sign. Why? So yes, run from the girls that are doing it, and I run from every girl that tries to spark conversation with me because I'm a married man, and I like to keep it that way.
A little misogynist. It could be just like a friendly conversation.
What do you mean?
Some people bond over that. Like some people are into that. But
you couldn't want to have a romantic situation. How full of self are you, Theo, if every girl that talks to you is trying to, I don't know, hook up with you?
Yeah, I'm that full of myself, yeah. Every time. Every conversation with a woman, I'm like, please, I'm married. All right. Relax. Smarter than the other way around. Also, stop asking people their birth times, too, and their moon signs and all of that stuff. You're right, Tina. it's a weird conversation, and it has no use. Okay, yeah, the stars aligned, whatever.
Great last call, Tina.
Thank you.
We could start doing the fill in the blank.
Oh, we forgot to do it.
We can start that maybe
well, that's
next
when you
week?
throw the cliches.
Yes,
It would have been hard to fill in that blank.
Oh yeah, no, there was no way.
Like I was at the salon and you. Well, I wouldn't have nothing for you.
Yeah.
Last call presented by Prize Picks. Yeah, Jalen, it's a good call. Before we give you the Prize Picks, Jalen asked, as a grown man, how do you feel about another man asking you if you have a girlfriend?
I think that's courteous. Because if you're a single man and you want to go to a provocative club, that's an easy question to ask first. Because if you're single, let's go to this club where the girls will take their shirts off. But if you're in a relationship, that complicates that question, right? Because I think
you can say strip club.
Gentlemen's club.
You can't say strip?
I don't know. I think we play it safe.
Right? No, because I think it's really
CJ
normal.
always gets us into these.
I do not.
It's not. It's not. You don't. What are you going to do with that information? I just don't understand it. Prize Picks, though, I know what you can do with this information. You can jump on wherever you find your apps, download Prize Picks right now, and use promo code THEOD. Promo code THEOD. That's going to get you $50 for free when you play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Over 5 million active members. All you're doing is picking more or less on player stat projections, and then you can watch the winnings roll in. Right now, they're offering Anthony Edwards more than 0.5 points. You hit that, that's pretty much a free square, as the Minnesota Timberwolves superstar is sure to at least knock down a free throw in a game. Also, no matter the sport, basketball, football, hockey, whatever you're watching, if you have an edge on it, just figure out what the player projection is in there, pick more or less, stack those up, and you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Again, download Prize Picks, use promo code THEOD. That's $50 for free, and you can be locked in. That was the last call. On the other side, we are going to give our punchline picks against the football spread, so stick around for that. That's C-Cat. That's Tina. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're theoretically speaking for the happy hour on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
When it comes to choosing a health plan, you can trust the members who have experienced it firsthand. Humana is proud to offer a Medicare Advantage plan in Florida that earned 5 out of 5 stars. 5 stars is the highest rating possible. It's based on real members' experiences, and it's decided by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Our Humana Gold Plus HMO earned 5 out of 5 stars. That means a few things. It means members get outstanding customer service. It means we connect them with excellent preventive care and chronic condition support. Most of all, it means you have a trustworthy option for a Medicare Advantage plan. Explore our 5-star Humana Gold Plus HMO at humana5star.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Every year, Medicare evaluates plans based on a 5-star rating system. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
This is the Delray Beach Open. Don't miss today's top professional tennis stars and legends in downtown Delray Beach. February 7th through 16th. It's 10 days of tennis on the Ave. 140 miles per hour races, parties, music, art, and all the good vibes. Come for the nonstop action on and off the court. Snap pics and post memories at the DBO. Join us for a jam-packed week of ATP tennis matches. More fun, more food, more drink, more parties, more of everything. DelrayBeachOpen.com for info.
grow. Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
This one is for all the marbles. World Series week on ESPN 106.3 is presented by PNC Bank. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve in the South Florida community. See how at PNC.com.
It's a Thirsty Thursday. It's time for Punchline Picks. Punchline Picks, our picks against the football spread on the weekend. That's CCAT. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking. We are tied with Russo and Rizzo right now. What is it? 7 weeks in. 7 weeks in. Week 8 of the NFL season coming up along with college football. So it's time for us to deliver our Punchline Picks. We'll put these out on social media afterwards, and I will start us off by staying right here in South Florida, CCAT. The Dolphins hosting the Cardinals at Hard Rock Stadium on Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff, and the Dolphins are favored by 3.5 points. I'm taking the Fins.
Okay, Tua's back in the mojo. I don't
taking
hate
the
it.
Fins. Yeah, I think they're going to show out. That's a bad Cardinals defense, and we're going to see it once again. The Fins are going to have their way with the Cardinals. Also, sticking in the NFL. Sorry, I had to scroll down here on my... Actually, you give your one, and I'll give you my next two.
I'm doing all NFL. Spoiler alert today. And I'm going to start tonight. Thursday Night Football, Vikings-Rams. Vikings are 3-point favorites on the road in L.A. All the public's on the Vikings. All of the sharps, the smart guys, they're on the Rams. I'm going to be with the smart guys. I'm going with the Rams.
Thank you. So Rams +3 at home tonight in Thursday Night Football. We got the Dolphins -3.5. That's where I'm going to take it next. Sticking in Hard Rock Stadium this weekend, the game before the Dolphins cover is going to be the Hurricanes covering against Florida State. They are 21.5-point favorites against the Noles. This is just me doubling down on. Florida State is as bad as we've seen. I don't care if it's a rivalry game or not. The Canes are going to step on their necks. We've seen that happen twice in this series in the past 4 meetings. Miami's that much better.
Yeah, the style points matter in that, just for state pride, right? You're battling for these recruits. You want to make those other teams look as bad as possible just as you're making yourself look good.
Especially as we know that the Noles are down. It's going to look good for Cristobal and the gang to get some revenge. Staying back, actually getting out of college football, going back to the NFL. I think you're going to like this one, CCAT. Okay, it's going to feel weird to say, but another game where it's more revenge than it is talent disparity. The Chiefs are at the Raiders. They are 9.5-point favorites on the road. Are you mad at me for picking Kansas City in this?
I am kind of mad at you. This feels like an ugly... The Chiefs are going to slip up in this season.
I won't do it then. I won't do it. I had to check the temperature. We're working cohesively now on Theoretically Speaking. I just wanted to check your temperature. I wanted to go that way because Mahomes has some revenge to exact on them with the Kermit the Frog doll and all of that.
True.
Cowboys 4-point dogs at San Francisco. And that's Sunday Night Football, and the Cowboys are coming off a bye week with Mike McCarthy.
I don't like it. I love it.
There we go. Banging the Cowboys there, +4 on Sunday Night Football. So those are my 3 picks. You have 2 to go.
2 more to go, one of which is going to be the Bengals at home versus the Eagles. Bengals are 3-point favorites in that 1 o'clock game on Sunday. So I'm going with the Bengals to win that game. And the final pick for my Punchline Pick contribution, going to go with the stinkiest bet of the year. You're telling me you're giving the Panthers 10 points in Denver? I'll take it. Panthers +10. The lock today.
Oh, my God. Don't do that. Don't lock on the Panthers.
Lock for the Rams.
There we go. We're locking on the Rams. This was Theoretically Speaking Punchline Picks. If you want to know where to watch all of those games, ESPN.com or the ESPN app. Check it out on Where to Watch. Russo and Rizzo next. They're going to give worse Punchline Picks. Good luck.
Thousands during the model year-end sales event at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. The new 2025 Kias are on the ground, which means the 2024s need to go. A new 2024 Kia Forte LXS for only $149 per month. Make no payments until next year. Plus, we want your trade. You can get up to $6,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. And if you have a job bringing home $350 per week, we want to improve your credit so you can drive home your new Kia today. Only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com. Qualified applicants through KFA, 24-month lease, $34.99 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, 0 security deposit required, plus tax tag and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. 90 days deferred payments. Interest accrues from date of purchase. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expire